Okay guys, on the bench today I have a Kenwood ka-5700. The owner of this amplifier told me that he had a scratchy potentiometer, the volume pot, and he sprayed some contact cleaner on it and he says it stopped working. It does power on, the relay does click in, but he says he can't hear anything coming out of off the speaker. So I'm here to test this. Through the dim bulb, I'm going to power this on. The relay does click in. I am going to give you guys we'll test this with a frequency. Very faded left channel, no right channel, but the left channel seems to be operating. Okay. So I do have some sound coming out of the left channel, but it's almost as if it was a mile away, and I don't have anything on the right channel. And it should be working. Okay, well, I'll have to shut this off, and we're gonna check this out and open this up and see what I can find in here, see if we can repair this. Okay, so if you have a Kenwood ka-5700 with the same issue or some other issues, we'll go and we'll do a service with this, and I'll show you a little bit of how this is made inside. It'll be an interesting video. We'll open this up and see what I can find in here. Come on. Okay, get this all top off. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you guys closer and we'll see how this is made inside. So here's the Kenwood there's a Kenwood ka-5700. It's got some really nice analog power wattage meter, which is really nice. And this is the inside. Somebody changed the lamps already. It's all good. Not a very big transformer, but here is my power supply right here. Filter caps. Not a whole lot of caps on here. This is probably my phono stage right down there, so we'll check those for capacitors and stuff. And these are my outputs attached to the heatsink. Okay, but here's the volume potentiometer. Okay, I'm gonna be checking this, see what I can find. All the other stuff too is really nice and handy to work on. Hey, look at that, really nice. I don't know if the bottom will come out of this, but all right, so I'll set you back on the stand. And I'm gonna see if the bottom comes out of this. I hope it does. It does. Nice. Let's take it out of here. And there it is. Just a little dusty, that's all. Other than that, it looks pretty good. I'm going to check the soldering on this, okay guys? So I'll bring you guys closer if you want. And let's check this. Okay. I'm gonna flip this back over to back, power this back on. I'll check the fuses on here. There are 2 fuses down here. 3 of them actually. Check all 3. Good fuse. Good fuse. Okay, fuses are good. Put it back. So that takes care of that. Okay. Now he's saying the volume potentiometer. I'm afraid of that, but I am going to spray some more stuff there. Ready to try this back on. I've only sprayed the volume pot because he told me that that's all he did was spray the volume potentiometer and it stopped working, so I'm going to go through the scope and we are going to have to print off the schematic for this as well. I'll bring this to 50 millivolts. 500 millivolts. 100 millivolts. Right now I'm picking interference. Probably these lamps here are giving me some interference, but okay, very faded. Yeah, okay. Well guys, I don't see anything right now. Nothing is jumping at me. I am going to try to print off the schematic and try to follow this as much as I can. Power this on again. I'm going to check my voltage on this. -41, -41, -41, +41. Everything is working great here. I do have a short that's cutting out the sound to the speaker terminal, and we're about to find out what the hell that is. Okay guys, back on the Kenwood 5700. The issue with this is regardless if I bring the volume right up there, this should be blasting this room up, but I don't. I only hear a little bit. Do have both channels are working, but something is cutting out to the volume pot, and I'm here to find that out. I've got a single tracer here that may help me find the issue with this. It could be an open resistor, or it could be the switches. I've cleaned all these switches, so they should be working. There's an issue somewhere. So if I take, how this works is you turn this up, and I can hear this actually right now. So I have one to the ground, and this one is just going to trace the sound. See? That's full sound coming out. Maybe I'll get you guys closer. See, I do have a single coming in to my auxiliary right here, okay? So if I go to my auxiliary, it's working great. I can trace this down to there. It's coming down all the way down, and it's going into my preamp, okay? After my preamp would go on to the power amp. So let's say I do have this full tilt, eh? See, the volume pot is working coming out of my output transistors. So the issue is between the auxiliary coming in and going into the preamp, then to the power amp. So I believe my issue would be around the preamp area where it should still connect. So let's say, like I showed you, that I had a good output here. That's good. And this is the left and the right channel. So I know the left and the right channel are working great on this. Okay, so there it is. Here it is. There's my other one. And if I follow this one goes directly in. So if I go onto this, I trace it down to this switch is working. The doubling sound. So it's crossing over to this switch. Okay, this switch is working great. Okay, now this switch, regardless if it was on and off, I should get something here. But I'm not getting anything. Did you hear that? There it is. So the connection is not being made with this switch. There's a faulty switch right here, because I should actually hear this. Once I put it in between the two pins, I'm getting both left and the right channel. You guys can hear this. Hey, watch this. I'm bringing this down to 1 volts per division. Between the two pins, that brings back my right channel. If I cross over, brings back my left channel. Okay, so I have an issue with this switch right here. This switch is defective. So what I need to do is either replace the switch. I don't know if I can get that switch, or this switch. It's the tape, the monitor switch A and B. That's not operational. So the issue with this is I'm not sure if I can get the switch. I'm going to call the customer. I can actually solder, you know, these two together, and that would give me back my channels, both my channels. So if this was me, if you were going to keep, it's not going to affect the sound or anything like that. It's just going to get your sound back. So I would just solder these two together, and I get my sound back. So I'm going to have to call the customer, see what he wants to do with this. A switch like that could cost, you know, like 30, 40, 50 bucks. I'm not sure if he wants to spend any money on this, but I always leave them the choice of whatever they want to do. And if I have to order it on eBay, this is going to take 3 weeks. So we'll see what he wants done. Okay, so we'll put you on pause. Okay guys, on the back on that switch, by soldering the 2 pins, the customer is okay with it. I got my sound back. So, and if you check the scope, there it is. Both channels are operational. I can crank this up. So I'm gonna use a regular outlet. The relay had just kicked in. I'm gonna crank this up all the way up. And I'll give you 10 volts per division. This is quite powerful, by the way. It's given me, under an 8 ohm load, I have 20.8. Okay, I'll show you guys this closer. Under a frequency of 1000 hertz, there's the Kenwood right there, and here's my scope. You can see the activity on the scope. You can see the sine wave. I'm cranking this up as much as I can, and right now we're at 20.8 RMS. Both channels are equal. I'll play with the volume pot here. There it is. Looking good. Okay, so the issue was the monitor, the tape monitor switch has had a defect in it. Wasn't working properly. It wasn't working at all. There was no connection and stopping the sound from crossing over onto the volume pot. Okay, so here comes the sound on the auxiliary going through the switches, then goes through the volume pot. But the sound was cut out at this switch here, and that's why the volume pot was getting very little sound to it. But by soldering there, check out the scope. Beautiful. So sometimes, you know, like if this would have been like a real expensive unit and what he really wanted that switch, sure, we could have gotten the switch, but he's okay with just, you know, soldering the 2 pins. This is not going to affect any sound at all. He's going to be able to play some good music on this. This Kenwood is pushing quite a bit, 20 point something RMS. The customer is really happy with this, so I'm going to put this back together. Not able to set the bias on this, the bias preset. The trimmer pot for the DC voltage is not on this unit as well, so whatever it is, that's what it is. If you did have some DC voltage, you can always check all the capacitors. Capacitor usually filters out all of the DC volt going through the speaker terminal, but I don't think I have an issue with that, but I'm going to check. Fluke, and we'll measure some voltage. See if I have any DC voltage, which I doubt very much. There's one, look at that. 1 millivolts would give me 2.3, 5 millivolts, baby. Really good. And the right channel is good too, 2.4 point something. So everything is good. No DC voltage. The bias, actually, I don't know why they've done this, but the bias, I can actually check the bias by these 2 pins here. My bias is at 5.7. I don't know if you guys were able to catch that, but so for the right channel was 5.7 millivolts. Let's do the left channel is 13, which is very acceptable. You know, everything is working great. There's no adjustment to that, like I said. The only adjustment that you would have is your wattage meters. I have 2 trimmer pots there, so you can always test those if the meters are true to whatever wattage comes out of there. Okay, so guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I showed you a little bit of what I do here in the shop. The single tracer here is really handy to have, especially in this case where I didn't know, you know, the sound coming in from the auxiliary was really good, but it was cutting out somewhere around here. So the fact is that you need to look at every single components, because the components that you see on here, like I wouldn't have had any clue about this switch, eh? I mean, I would have ended up finding it, but with this thing, it kind of speeds up the process where you can actually tell if the sound is cut out somewhere. So I found out that this switch was fault, and with this was a little faster finding it. Anyways, just wanted to share that with you guys. Put this over here. I'm going to put this back together and call the customer. He's going to be happy to get this back. It has been on my shop for about 2 weeks because I didn't have time going through some major stuff here at home. And all right, so I'll put the bottom plate back on. There we go. Kenwood. Okay guys, this is it for the Kenwood ka-5700. The issue with this was a faulty switch. Got the sound back. If you like the video, thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And we'll catch you in the next video.